Hello, it's me again. Thank you for tuning into this latest episode. I'd hoped to have filmed earlier this month, but it seems to have rained constantly. As you can see, it hasn't had a magical effect on the garden. Everything has grown so much. Everything's flowering, even the wisteria. I just wanted to say thank you to everybody who's commented on my videos. I'm genuinely touched by some of the wonderful comments you've made and the time you've taken to do it. I really value your input greatly. I'm also extremely grateful to all of those of you who have subscribed to my channel. I think it was only a few weeks ago when I started officially. There were about 100 of you, and now we're getting to near 5,500. So it's quite amazing. It's brought about some wonderful things too, and you'll be hearing about those soon. I hope you're enjoying the bird song. Anyway, so back to this video, which is an evening tour of my secret garden, with a couple of videos I made spliced in as the sun was actually shining for a few moments this morning. So I hope you enjoy. So I thought we'd start here with Helen. Now Helen is looking very splendid there, with the James Galway rose behind her, which is growing really tall and high, and that'll be covered in pink flowers soon. Below some pansies from last winter, which I will be removing very soon. And this border to the right has been replanted, and you can see it's quite a shady border. So I went the other week and we got some heucheras and heucherellas, or is it tiarella, one or the other. I think it's a tiarella here. This one's called Sweet Tea. It's a lovely rusty colour. It really stands out. And behind there's another one called Dinosaur Yellow, and there's one next to that which is a beautiful colour. I absolutely adore it. Can you see the lovely mottled leaves with red and pink hues? And there's its flower. A little bit insignificant, but I think they're more useful for the leaves. Just hiding in there is another plant here, Trifolium. I've had that one years. Actually, I forgot about it, but it just seems to come up, and it never looks any bigger than that. Here we have I love these. This is a British native wildflower. This is a Polygonatum multiflorum, or I can't remember what its common name is. You see, when you're a proper real gardener, you only speak in Latin. Now, I'll put the name on it. Solomon's seal, that's it. This is one of my favourite plants here. This is Primula Francesca. Now look at those flowers. They're absolutely green, aren't they? Unusual. Looks really nice next to the foxgloves. As you can see, it's looking really, really pretty at the moment. Lots of birds hopping around as well. Chenomales has gone over just about. There's one or two flowers. I've also replanted down here. I've got a Hakanakloa, I think that's how I pronounce it. I've also got a lovely hosta, which was my plant there. It's a seedling raised from seed, so I don't know what variety it is properly, but isn't it nice? The lady said it's leathery, so it should be slug proof to a point. Now I want to show you something here. I put this in the other day. It's a lovely Cleo, what's its name? There's its label, look. Syrinx major purpurea. It's a lovely plant, but here, as you can see, it's being bitten. Now, because we share the garden with wildlife, you have to take some hits. Now, what's been biting this are little voles which run around the garden. I try to put food out so they don't get bothered having to eat all my plants, but they still like to go and bite everything. But what's happened here again, we'll just go back to it. This will sprout, as you can see from the bottom, put more shoots out, so it will actually get a better plant. I'll leave that piece at the back in case it wants to eat some more. There's a lovely Aquilegia there, and I love this Euphorbia. I've forgotten its name. Is it Tiger something? Tiger Stripe or something like that. I'll put the name on. It may not be sunny enough in this position, but we will soon find out when it doesn't grow very well. Then I can move it if it doesn't like it. The box trees there, they're going to be pruned soon. Keeping the ball shape. Because I've got plenty of pointy topiary here on this other side. Now I want to show you this. Ta-da! This is the wisteria. Now this wisteria is about 40 years old. I dare say I remember it being planted. But isn't it lovely? Look at that big chunky stem at the bottom. It smells quite nice too, if you like the smell of wisteria. So I think it's a bit of something you like or don't like. But look at that, isn't it lovely? Now that goes all the way around the side of this building, and it creates a canopy down the side of the house, which is what I call the secret garden area. Isn't it gorgeous? Look at those flowers. This is the rose here. This is called Munstead Wood. It's a lovely, like a quartered rose, old-fashioned looking. Smells delightful, and it's a lovely ruby claret colour. I'll just show you down here by looking about. You'll see all the mistakes, but never mind. That's what gardening is about. Cicericium. It's going to flower. It's got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. At least 10 flower stems on there. Here's another heuchera. This one's called Buttered Rum, and look at the price. Now if you buy from nurseries, you'll get a better price. The people who grow the plants rather than the garden centres, because the garden centres have huge overheads to consider. But if you buy it from a nursery, it's less so, because you do get all the details. They don't have coffee shops and all those things like that to worry about. There's a lovely sedum there. This is another rose climbing up here. This is Aloha. Lovely pink flowers when it happens. Down there is a lovely, I'm going to keep saying lovely because everything's lovely. This is a really nice, this bit of rose got stuck in there. It's a really nice fern. See, painted, Japanese painted fern. And look at the colour of that. That's just appeared for nothing in the last 2 or 3 weeks. And look at this. This is a lamium, type of dead nettle. It's lovely. I've got 2 varieties of this. Well, I've got a few varieties, but this type is the upright. This is Lamium orvala. Really good for bees. I say that just sprouted up from absolutely nothing as well. And it looks really nice down here with all the mixture of leaves, the dainty little flowers of the saxifrage there, which is variegated variety. There's little oxalis as well, little pink flowers, just for a bit of texture. I've got little ferns in there as well. All kinds, gives a natural look. You wouldn't think it's only just been planted. Anyway, let's walk down here now. You can see my wire on the floor there, so please ignore that. Say hello to Helen. Helen's having a really nice time at the moment, enjoying the flowers. Now, oh, here's a beast of a plant. That's the aconitum. Now, I'd only put this in the garden if you know what you're doing, because that could very well kill someone very quickly if you were that way minded. So I would not recommend putting that in the garden, particularly if you have children around either. Here's another plant we've got not long ago. This is a phlox. Isn't that gorgeous? And I've got all the labels in the garage, so I don't like to see them sticking out unless I've handwritten them. But isn't that nice? It's even scented too. The little clouds. There's a late daffodil there. I think that's called green eye. I bought that because it's supposed to have green eyes, but actually it's not green at all. Well, slightly, but it's still attractive. It's a thalictrum there. A nice thalictrum. This is a yellow variety, which gets quite tall, which will get as tall as me nearly, which is very tall. This is the other lamium. I shall put the name on for you in case you want to look for one. But isn't that gorgeous, the soft, furry little flowers? Bees love it because they climb into here. It's like a little hatch for them to go in and out of. So when it's a warm day, if we ever get one, that's what happens with those. Now, do you remember a video or two ago I did this corner, planted it up? Now, you wouldn't believe it's wasn't that long ago, but no, it's full, it's filled out, everything's doing really well. And Ruth is very pleased because in this hedge here, in that little space there, there's a little nest with some baby dunnocks in it, so I have to be careful around them. But they do know who I am, so we'll have a good relationship. So they're not too scared of me, and they do come for seeds when I put some out. And I must point out, this is my favourite tree. I bought this from a catalogue, £5 a few years ago. It's a golden elm, ulmus. It's a lovely colour. Unfortunately the top gets a bit burned when the sun comes out, but never mind, we can cut those off and it regenerates. Yes, so Ruth is pleased, and she's also pleased that this plant here has grown as well. Can you see this? Oh, some flies. This is Anthryscus ravenswing. It's a type of cow parsley, which is a wildflower here. It grows in the verges and woodlands, and it's lovely, but it's got dark leaves, this sort, so it's much more appropriate for a tended garden, but it can look nice anywhere. Isn't she looking happy today? All the forget-me-nots there, making a lovely carpet. Now they will seed everywhere like they have done here in the lawn. Now we'll have to get them out and put them somewhere more useful, but this is the hosta Big Daddy. You can see there's a little bit of damage there, but I think that was me actually. But I don't think that is at the bottom, so we'll go in there later and it's rained and see who's doing it. Oh, and look as well, such a lot to see today. This is the beautiful magnolia canary bird. Now I've done quite well to get 2 flowers out of it because I have had to prune it to keep it into this shape. I didn't want it to get too big. So that's nice, and how green the hedge is there. You can't believe it, it's grown so much. Now I did find a pot the other week for the urn. What do you think to it? I can see it's got a slant on it, but there's actually a stone in the top causing that. Or it could be faulty workmanship. Now, I'm in 2 minds to leave the pot as it is. I quite like the colour. And when I put some summer plants in there, it will cover it, and you won't necessarily see the terracotta. But I love the handles on it. It kind of lends itself to that classical feel. So what I could do, depending on what people think, I could paint it a off-white stone colour to match the column. But bear in mind, painting terracotta doesn't always last, it comes off. So down here, we'll have a look. Now what have we got going on here? Now there's all the plants I showed you a few weeks ago. There's ferns, there's a lovely geranium phaeum samabor at the back, lovely little tiny purple flowers. This iris here, which strangely hasn't been attacked by the lily beetles, is doing okay. I'm keeping an eye on that in case they suddenly find it. Here's the rose, LD Braithwaite, a beautiful red one. I'll be looking forward to showing you that when it flowers. And there's another plant I've got here. This is from the flower show we went to, but it's gone a little bit over. But look at the shape of the petals on there. This is, whoops, that's a geum. When it's fully formed, there's another one coming, so we'll show that later. It's a lovely little flower. Here's a lovely miniature Phalictrum. Now most Phalictrums, you can see the one at the back there, can get quite big, that's 6 foot up to 2 metres tall. But this one doesn't get much bigger than this. Isn't it delightful, the little flowers? Of course the Brunner is always looking magnificent. They've gone over the hellebores. And the Mertensia still looking nice, but it's a little bit lost here amongst the forget-me-nots. So I'll have to think about that next year. Perhaps they move the forget-me-nots out of the way. But doesn't it look pretty? Little natural cottage garden. A little bit of a magical theme with my little friends here and there. And the blackbirds are busy singing. Now this is the rock around the pond. This is my mum's job. I see the screwdriver there because I've been fixing the lawnmower. I've got some lovely plants. Some belvelias are just about going over there. But there's some lovely plants we've got from the flower show. A little bit different. I think there's a phlox there and the Achillea here. I can't remember what that is. I think it's an iberis. So it's not strictly a rockery, as in the term rockery, because it's more of a border with gravel, but it does lend itself to smaller plants with all the stones and things. Now, we've just got up here, past the blue ball. There's the fishes. Now we protect the fishes because the heron comes and eats them. Oh, little frog there. Look, hello, Mr. Frog. Now, frogs are very good because they will eat your slugs and snails. They'll save you a lot of trouble with pests. But look at this iris. This is cherry garden. It's a miniature one. It's only about 6 inches tall. That's 10 centimetres. Now we have another rose. Oh, look, there's lavender there. That's platinum blonde. That's another plant here. This is another. What I was just looking at there. The Virginia. I'll write it down. This is a lovely rose. Now this rose is called Gertrude Jekyll. It's a climber. I can see it's doing really well this year. Now what happened was I used to have one here before in an obelisk. The obelisk was quite tall and the rose suddenly died. I don't know what happened to it, but it died, so I put another one in, this one. And I knew about rose replant disease, which we can't put a rose back where there was one before, because what will happen is it will just fail, it'll die slowly, and that's what happened for about 2 years. So I gave up and then looked up how to do it. So how can you combat rose replant disease? Well, I've got this rose down here in a lovely box, a nice rectangular box. This is to go over the arch. That's Ghislaine de Feligonde, pardon my French. A lovely apricot one. So I've got the box from that one, and I put this one in it with some fresh soil, and I planted it back in the earth. And it sat there last summer and did nothing. Didn't even flower. It looked sad and miserable. But now look, year on, in the box, with fresh soil and some good feed, some horse muck. Look at all these buds, it's going to be covered in them. And it's absolutely one of the most beautiful roses. Pink, quartered flowers, and the scent is absolutely heavenly. And if you can ever get one of these for your garden, I would recommend it. So that's Rosa Gertrude Jekyll. And there's some self-sewn foxgloves hiding in there. So they're going to complement her when she's flowering, which is all what gardening's about. It's complementary. It's turning into a long tall, this one. I haven't got round to the other bit yet. This is the apple tree, and the apple tree was to go at the back there where the other tree is, but we decided not to because I think it'd be too much. So here it is in here. This is a Malus Everest. It hasn't flowered so well, but you can see, look up there. Can you believe that? There's a snail. Whoops, now that can go and get eaten by this something else. So isn't that looking pretty? And the birds are sounding nice too. The tulips here, they're going over now. You saw them in my video before, looking rather splendid. The rain has battered them, but they still look beautiful, don't you think? What's left of them. And when they're curling like that, it's a little bit more unusual. And Ruth looks nice there as well. The violas are doing well in this pot. And there we have the succulents which have come out of the greenhouse, the unheated greenhouse, and some of them have survived, some haven't, but they're still in there, hoping they might come back. Yeah. And the bees in here, when the sun's been out for half an hour every other day, have been coming out. You can see little holes appearing while they're emerging. Now I've put a light in there, you see the little faces looking back at you. But it's still early for them. I'm hoping they'll have a better year this year. The urn here, the daffodils, oh, not the daffodils, these, yes they are daffodils, they're finished. The polyanthus have finished, primroses, whatever they are, but these have taken over now. These tiger, aren't they gorgeous? Look at that. It's like someone's put a light on. Yeah, so this corner's looking really pretty. Now this, everyone laughs at this, but I have to put this dummy into the lion head. This was made by a crafter, so I don't think you can buy them anywhere now. But if I leave that pipe open and don't have the water on, the bees will go in there and start making nests. So I'll put the dummy in. It does make a nice noise. It cancels out background sound. Yeah, so we're going to have a little look now along to the side of the house. Look, the wisteria comes right down here. So I want to show you my tree fern. I grew this myself from a small pot. It was 99p from a local nursery, and that was about 10-12 years ago. As you can see, it's grown to be about 30 centimetres tall now. It didn't like the winter. Well, it doesn't really like winters, but it's still got some leaves on. And I've just checked in the middle. I don't know if you can see, but there's some fresh leaves. I can feel them emerging there, so it's survived the winter okay. As you can see, it's looking very pretty down here. The tulips are still hanging on. Here we have National Velvet, which is a beautiful claret colour. My little friend singing there. I've got the lights on so you can see better. This is tulip Antarctica. So I put these two together because they're a nice contrast. There's a nice hosta there as well. Some daffodils still going on. The clematis there. Going up there, some big flower buds coming. There's a green man. He's made of lead, and when I bought him, I had to collect him from the post office, and I slipped on the ice and he has a little dent on him somewhere down here. There's another lovely tulip here. This one is Whispering Dream. Isn't that gorgeous? Looks even nice with the lights on, I think. And there's some plants down here I'm saving for the summer. Now, I mentioned the vole before. It's been biting this one as well. It must taste nice. This is a Tradescantia. This was from the supermarket. It cost me, I think it was 20 or 30p because it nearly killed it. You can see it's doing well. And it needs to be in the shade because it's variegated. It doesn't like full sun because that'll just make it go brown and crispy. There's a nice yucca there, green spice. A collection of plants here. Some lovely geraniums. This is an unusual one called Ray Bidwell. Look at the leaves. Pink. Not so keen on the orange flowers, but you don't have to leave them on. There's the cherub there, behind the umbrella palm plant. Look at this lovely fern here. Look at those leaves. That's nice. So let's wander down a bit more. There's some standard violas in this pot here. I've got a few bits and pieces here. With a geranium here. This is an interesting one called Freak of Nature. That could be because it throws up big green stems. Well, it shouldn't be. Now, did I mention before about something growing about 4 or 5 feet? All this is lily. Now, this has grown from absolutely nothing in the last few weeks. Right from the ground upwards. I'm hoping it's going to flower. And another loss last winter was this. Now it's come back, and I love this. It smells of peanuts. You rub the leaves. Really, really strong. Now, I shall put the name on because it's evading me at the moment. It'll come back to me in a moment. And another lovely plant here. This is Polygonum, I think. And this is Painter's Palette. It looks like someone's painted it. Look at those leaves, they're gorgeous. I've got to mention the star of the show as well. My favourites is this Honesty Lunaria. And normally, if you've seen my other videos, I've one with white flowers, but this one has purple. So I'm going to try and save the seeds from this and get some going for next year. So it's all looking very natural down here. The trees, nice bit of screening, eucalyptus there. A beautiful acer here. I've got some paint for that wall today. Lovely acer, it's pink. Lovely pink colour. And I have this other acer here. It's a lovely bright yellow colour. Doesn't like full sun, so that's why it's down here in the kind of woodland area. But it's looking really pretty. And of course, in a couple of weeks, this is all going to come out, the annual stuff, the spring plants, and be replaced with annual things. So I have to make sure it looks really nice. You can see lots to do still, but it's all good fun. It's all going to look beautiful. As you can see, there's even more to see. I feel bad that I keep missing things, but there's so much to show you. Look at these lovely daffodils. And the hanging basket's done really well. Haven't deadheaded it, so you might see a few dead bits. And these, when they're finished, they don't always die. You can put them into your borders and keep them for next year. See, it's multiplying at no end there, so that's a nice thrifty tip for you. Bamboo's looking good. I split a big pocket into 3, so I'm hoping that's going to come back, and maybe some friends will get some of that. So yeah, that concludes this part of the garden tour.